In the icy wilderness of northern Russia, on an unwelcoming island surrounded by the dark waters of Lake Novozero, lies a place that whispers of dread and despair. Paytak, a name synonymous with suffering, isolation, and the loss of humanity. Officially known as Strict Regime Penal Colony No. 5, this prison is not just a correctional facility, but a laboratory of human despair, where criminals are reduced to mere shadows of their former selves. Paytak is not an ordinary prison. It offers no hope of rehabilitation, only endless agony. Those sent here know that there is no chance of a fresh start. The island becomes their entire world, a world where survival means coming to terms with the fact that the life they once knew is over. Write us your opinion and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Paytak was established in 1930 as part of the Soviet Gulag system, designed not just to punish but also to exploit inmates for maximum labor. During its early years, it primarily housed political prisoners, regime dissidents, intellectuals, and anyone who opposed the Soviet state apparatus. Though its remote island location was strategic, the icy waters and impenetrable wilderness made escape nearly impossible. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Paytak transformed. From a labor camp, it became a strict regime prison for those who committed the most severe crimes, including serial murders, terrorism, and organized crime. Although times have changed, the essence of Paytak has remained the same, a place devoid of hope, where the breaking of the human spirit is the ultimate goal. Life at Paytak follows a strict regime, offering inmates only the bare minimum to survive. The day begins with a wake-up call, though for many prisoners, sleep is elusive due to the oppressive silence and solitude. After a morning inspection and a simple breakfast, an endless wait begins. Inmates spend up to 23 hours a day confined to their cells, small, cold, and sparsely furnished. A 5-square-meter cell contains just a metal bed, a table, and a chair. Windows, if they exist at all, are covered with opaque glass, preventing any view of the outside world. The light that filters into the room is cold and impersonal, heightening the sense of isolation. Inmates have no access to television or radio, leaving them alone with the crushing weight of silence, a silence so profound it seems to smother. The only reprieve is a 1-hour outdoor break, which takes place in a small enclosed yard resembling a cage. Armed guards and cameras watch every move, ensuring that even this moment of fresh air feels like another form of punishment. The sight of the sky through iron bars only deepens their sense of helplessness. Meals are basic and often of poor quality: soup, a piece of bread, and a small portion of porridge. Malnutrition is common, as are health problems caused by the lack of vitamins and proper medical care. One of the most harrowing aspects of life at Paytak is psychological isolation. Inmates are cut off from the world and each other. Any communication between prisoners is strictly prohibited, and being caught attempting to speak can lead to severe punishment. From losing their already limited outdoor time to being subjected to even harsher forms of isolation. Psychologists warn that prolonged isolation has devastating effects on the human mind. The loss of time, space, and purpose leads to depression, paranoia, and hallucinations. Many inmates succumb to severe mental illnesses from which they never recover. "You feel your mind slowly unraveling," described one former inmate. "It's as if someone is erasing all your memories, emotions, and desires from the inside out." Working at Paytak is as merciless as living there. The guards who oversee the inmates are not just witnesses to their suffering, but are also part of it. Many admit that life in this place changes them. "You have to numb yourself," said one guard anonymously. "If you start feeling sympathy, this place will destroy you." Guards are carefully selected and trained to enforce the prison's strict rules. Any mistake or show of humanity could lead to chaos. Their job is not only to monitor, but to maintain the complete subjugation of the inmates, both physically and mentally. Paytak is not just a place of isolation, but one where nature itself amplifies the suffering. Long winters with temperatures plunging far below freezing add another layer of torment for inmates and guards alike. Poorly heated cells, icy winds seeping through cracks, and inadequate clothing make every day a battle for survival. Despite these harsh conditions, the surrounding nature is breathtaking. The dark waters of Lake Novozero, dense forests, and snow-covered shores create a picture of serene beauty. For the inmates, however, it is a cruel reminder of the world they can never return to, a world that exists just beyond their reach. Patak is not just a prison, but a system designed to strip individuals of everything that makes them human. For inmates, there is no rehabilitation, no chance of redemption. The sole purpose of this system is to ensure that they suffer, that their bodies and souls are broken. For those who survive Patak, life never returns to normal. The psychological scars they carry are deep and irreparable. Patak is not merely a place of punishment, it is a symbol of absolute dehumanization. Life in Patak is an unrelenting descent into despair, where survival demands the loss of everything that makes a person human. Inmates endure a strict and soul-crushing daily routine. Wake-ups for inspections, monotonous and meager meals, and up to 23 hours a day confined to 5-square-meter cells. These cells are cold, sparsely furnished, and devoid of any connection to the outside world. Windows are often covered with opaque glass, ensuring prisoners see nothing beyond the gray walls. Silence reigns supreme, not the peaceful kind, but an oppressive void that feels like a physical weight. This silence drives many inmates to the brink of madness, as it robs them of any sense of time, space, or reality. The single hour of outdoor time, granted daily, provides no reprieve. Prisoners are herded into a small enclosed yard that resembles a cage, with every move monitored by armed guards and cameras. This hour, rather than being liberating, serves as a stark reminder of their confinement. Contact with the outside world is nearly non-existent. Rare visits from family, lasting only minutes, are difficult to arrange and heavily monitored. Letters, too, are heavily censored, erasing any meaningful connection with loved ones. Over time, prisoners lose touch with the world beyond Patak, their relationships eroded by isolation. Despite the enforced solitude, an unspoken hierarchy exists among inmates. Those with criminal notoriety or connections, such as organized crime leaders, often manage to secure minor privileges, while those guilty of heinous, universally reviled crimes, such as violence against children, are further isolated or shunned even by fellow inmates. However, all interactions must be covert, as guards strictly enforce a rule of no communication between prisoners. Any attempts to speak, send signals, or even tap messages on walls are swiftly punished. The psychological toll of isolation is devastating. Many inmates succumb to depression, paranoia, or hallucinations. Some try to fight the oppressive silence by humming, singing, or knocking on the walls, but such attempts are often futile and result in stricter punishment. This psychological erosion is intentional. The prison is designed to strip away individuality and hope. Over time, prisoners stop resisting the monotony. They cease imagining a future and become resigned to their existence. Adding to the suffering is the harsh Russian winter. Temperatures plunge far below freezing, and the prison's aging heating systems provide little relief. Frosty winds creep into cells, making even basic survival a grueling ordeal. The surrounding environment, with its snow-covered landscapes and dark waters of Lake Novozero, might appear picturesque, but to inmates it is a cruel taunt. Beauty that remains forever out of reach. For some, death becomes the ultimate escape from Patak's relentless torment. Suicide, while difficult under the prison's strict surveillance, is not uncommon. Those who succeed in ending their lives are often seen by others as having escaped. Meanwhile, the guards who oversee Patak are not immune to its effects. The constant exposure to human suffering leaves many of them emotionally numb, a necessity for maintaining order. "You have to turn off your humanity," one guard reportedly said. "If you don't, this place will break you too." In Patak, the concept of justice takes a dark turn. This is not a place for rehabilitation or redemption. It is a machine engineered to erase every trace of humanity from those within its walls. Inmates are left with nothing but their own torment, their identities swallowed by a system designed to obliterate hope. The silent halls of Patak are not merely prisons for the body, they are tombs for the soul.